Hello and welcome to Downtime Fun. In this video I will share my top 5 reasons to get this MacBook Air M1. So I have released a video last week sharing the 5 reasons not to get the MacBook Air M1. Actually I struggled a little bit when making that video because I am not sure if I should jump into the negativity for such a good product. But it was a good experiment for me to see how the YouTube world will react to a little controversy. As mentioned in the video, making it wasn't that easy because I do not have much complaints about this M1 MacBook. This video is much easier to make given this computer has a lot of positives, and without further ado, here are my top 5 reasons to get the M1 MacBook Air. Number 5. macOS and trackpad. Objectively, this is not a reason specific to the M1 Macs, but please hear me out. I know this is some dangerous territory to delve into, as both Windows and macOS has its own pros and cons. I have been using Windows for the past 10 years, and I think Windows 10 is really a good attempt for Microsoft to improve the overall user experience. However, for users who does not need any Windows-specific apps nor require a lot of customizations with their computers, macOS does a really good job to make life simple and streamlined. Everything is very logical and easy to gain access to. For example, the Spotlight search feature and other third-party apps like Alfred will make opening apps and files every time feel like a breeze. I include the trackpad in this reason here because I think the macOS gestures follow the same excellent intuitive design, which I consider are much better than the Windows version. This also explains why some Mac desktop users also use a trackpad on top of their mouse, which gives them more control. So if you haven't tried the macOS experience and don't mind making a jump across platforms, it is really worthwhile to try it now with the new M1 Macs. And please keep watching to see why that is the case. Number 4. The price. Okay, I know it is rare to put the term fair pricing in the same sentence with Apple. I didn't think I would say that ever, either. The Apple logo can almost be synonymous to the word expensive, where the term Apple tax derives from the company pricing their products on the high side. But the performance for these M1 Macs are just incredible for the price. You can find many comparison videos on YouTube comparing the M1 Mac Minis with the most expensive Mac Pros, the M1 MacBook Air versus the most expensive MacBook Pro 16 with the highest end graphics card, etc, etc. The pricing for the base M1 MacBook Air has not changed at all, whilst the performance is on par with the computers a few tiers above its price range. Of course, there are cheap options out there, which I have actually listed a few of my alternatives in this video here. But if your budget allows, try to look past the price, as it does present an excellent price to performance package. Number 3. The build quality and the keyboard. I'm not a big Apple fan at all. I am an Android phone user, and I am certainly not tied by the Apple ecosystem. However, one thing that I must give credit to Apple is for their ability to upkeep their build and design quality of their products. These M1 MacBooks are solidly built. There is literally no flex in the screen. The display is very sharp and the color is accurate. The keyboard is now more durable with the improved key switches. The SSDs are very fast. The speakers are one of the best in the market, etc, etc. One little thing I want to highlight is the ability to open the screen with one hand. I actually elaborated this point in one of my previous videos here. This is a very small detail and a good example that Apple does not take everything for granted, and they execute this perfectly, making the overall user experience of this laptop felt just right. All these adds up to an excellent build quality and why Apple is seen to be the luxury brand within the tech world. Another extra note that I want to add here is the touch bar. I really didn't like this feature and I think it does not add value to my workflow. On the flip side, it is just a part of the computer which I worry about breaking more easily than the traditional function keys, which are in the MacBook Air. Recent rumors are getting more interesting, pointing towards Apple finally admitting defeat on this touch bar feature and will ditch the design for the higher end MacBooks. Only time will tell, but I just want to point this out for anyone considering the Air versus the Pro if the touch bar is a consideration. Number 2, battery life. I was actually going to put this as the top reason, but then I finally decided to put this in second place because there is no point to have super long battery life and sacrificing everything else. The battery life of the M1 MacBooks is really revolutionary. When most of the laptop computers are only giving us 4 to 5 hours of battery life with limited performance, this new generation M1 MacBooks are lasting for over 10 hours on average. Unlike the Windows laptops, which can only utilize all its processing power whilst plugging into the wall, the M1 MacBooks can provide maxed out performance running on its battery. This gives extra mobility to its user. From my extended usage of the computer, I cannot achieve the advertised 18 hours as Apple claims. I am getting around 10 to 11 hours screen on time consistently with my daily use before I have to charge it again. My use case includes web browsing and with Chrome, watching some videos on YouTube and some light video editing in Final Cut Pro. With this reason alone, the M1 MacBook should already be a serious contender for your next computing device. And to the number 1 reason, performance. This is actually one of the first things that comes to my mind when writing this script. However, there is a caveat, which is it depends on what apps you need with your computing needs. For me, I mainly use a computer for writing scripts, web browsing, research, light photo and video editing for YouTube, and the performance for these tasks are just out of this world. As long as you are using native apps such as Pixelmator for photos and Final Cut Pro for videos, it will be difficult to find another computer in any price range to offer a similar or better experience. I know this is a very bold claim, and it may not hold true if you insist to use non-native apps such as Photoshop and Premiere Pro at the moment. But for my use case, the performance is just incredible in this compact package. Even during more demanding tasks such as video rendering and exporting, my M1 MacBook Air did not heat up significantly, which makes this new M1 chip very impressive. If you always need to work on large projects, for example rendering 8K video projects longer than 20 minutes, then you should seriously consider the M1 MacBook Pro with a fan which provides a better sustained performance. On the other hand, if you are a developer and requires coding on a daily basis, you may want to research a little bit more on the compatibility of your required apps on the M1 chips. And of course, serious gamers should also look elsewhere. But for everyone else, if you are looking for a mobile productivity daily driver and don't mind using macOS apps, the performance alone is already a good enough reason to upgrade to the M1 Max. If you want a laptop with a bigger screen, faster performance in a newly designed chassis, you can always wait for the rumored M1 X Max to be released later this year. Yet, let me reiterate that it is impossible to have a forever best computer, as a better product will always be around the corner in the tech world. So if you need a new computer now, you can't really do much wrong with these M1 Macs. Hope this video helped you in some way for your purchasing decision. Please kindly support my channel by liking this video and subscribe to my channel. Let me know in the comments below if you have a different experience with these M1 machines to mine. That's about it for this video, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching, and bye.